guys, welcome back. I am doing a challenge from the Paper Issues Facebook page, and it was a challenge based on an inspiration piece. It was a summer inspiration piece, and it really inspired me. A lot of times I don't have time to scrapbook during the week, but this particular day I was by myself. My husband and my daughter were at swimming lessons, so I decided to get crafty. So I'm just taking a paper pad that I had from a while back from Michael's. I believe it's Design Cuts with a View, I believe. And so I'm just putting some gesso on the back, and it is a white gesso, and I'm going to put some mixed media here on the background. So I'm going to be using three colors or three brands of mixed media: Colorings, the Heidi Swap, and my, what's it called? Lindy Stamp Gang. So I am first going to be putting this Heidi Swap Color Shine in Cherry on, and it's really dark. I am going to add a little bit of water, but you're going to see here that it's really vivid on the page. And so I'm going to end up blotting a lot of that up with the paper towel, and because I have that gesso on, it blots up really nicely. And I also want to apologize for all the sunshine. Unfortunately, if I didn't shoot the video when I did, I wasn't going to be able to get it in, so that will actually go away here in just a little bit. But this first mixed media part, you do see quite a bit of the sun on my hands and things like that. So now I'm just using the Mandarin Mai Tai, I think it is, no, Peachy Keen Shimmers Spray, and I'm going to add that on, and I'm going to add that in a couple different places, and then I'm going to finish it off with the Lindy Stamp Gang Spray. And I'm just kind of blotting as I go, and I'm trying to kind of mix that color into the two clusters that are in opposite corners, just so it kind of blends in nice and seamlessly. And when I first did this, I was still, even though I padded up a lot of that pink, pretty like, wow, this is a lot of pink. But after I put all my clusters and things down, I think it ends up being just fine. And that's kind of the thing you have to think about when you're doing this mixed media, is you're not going to see a lot of it, because a lot of your pictures and your paper and clustering and everything like that is going to go on top of the mixed media, so it's not going to be this much in your face. So just keep that in mind as you're doing your mixed media, and then usually in the end you'll be fine. So this blue color is pretty light, and I do like it. It would be nice if it's just a little bit darker, but I like how it's just kind of a subtle hint of the blue and nothing that's overpowering, and it really brings out the blue in the flowers. So I'm just continuing to spray and mist and blot up and smush down with the packaging, and it's until I get it to the texture and consistency I want. And I'm just going to add some more blue splatters in, and because that blue was pretty light when I was doing the packaging technique, this splattering makes it really stand out a bit more. So this is pictures of my daughter and her friend playing in the sprinkler, and sorry, I have her face, her friend's face covered up. I don't have permission to show her on the video, so that's why that post note's there. But it is a picture of them and the sprinkler. This is the first time they were able to play in the sprinkler this year, and it kind of even brings back good memories for me. I remember playing in the sprinkler when I was a kid, and they were having such a great time. They played, I think, in the sprinkler for like 2 hours, which seems like kids these days, they're bored like after 5 minutes of doing anything. So it was fun to see them playing out in the sprinkler and having a really good time. So now I'm finally happy with my mixed media, and now I'm going to be layering some pieces down. This is an old bag that I got in a Planner Society kit, and I love the bags that her planner stuff comes in, so I thought this was perfect, very tropical, and the colors worked perfectly with this page. And it's always nice to use things from your stash, and I had cut these bags because I really wanted to use them as layering elements since they were so pretty, and this was a perfect opportunity. So I'm just trimming this down. I ended up mounting it on white cardstock. I wanted a little separation between the photo and this bag. So you're going to just see me here cutting this out so that I can mount the photo here. And before I do that, I decided to use some tissue paper, and I'm just going to rip it off with using the straight edge of my ruler. And so it kind of has a little bit more of a jaggedy. It's not as quite of a precise line as if I cut it with the scissors. So I'm just adding that in. Again, a little bit more separation. I thought it was necessary. And I kind of wanted this kind of, I don't know, messy, grungy-ish border. So that's kind of why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And because this fun foam, I've had some problems with it really sticking, I'm going to add both my Scotch Quick ATG gun as well as some liquid adhesive just to make sure it really sticks, because I don't want to be losing it on my page later on. So I'm just going to glue that down, and then I'm going to use my ruler again to trim this out. Again, like I said, I kind of want a little bit more of a rough cut to it as opposed to a really nice clean edge with my scissors. So now I like this, how this turned out, so I'm going to end up putting this down again with a little bit more liquid glue with the gesso on the background. It's always a good idea to add a little bit of extra assurance, or insurance I should say, to make sure it sticks down. I'm taking some more cut aparts from the paper pad, And I'm just going to trim this out. This is going to be a good journaling spot. It is going to end up going there on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to trim it out with rounded corners. And it's going to get tucked right up underneath the picture. And then I'm going to also take a piece of paper from the collection and cut out a bunch of flowers from the page. And that's it right there. So I'm going to spare you watching me do that. And accidentally my camera was turned off. So I ended up layering these down with the leaves and stuff, and I didn't get that on film. So what I ended up doing was taking some fun foam and popping up a couple of the flowers as well as the photo. So I apologize for you missing that, but it was just kind of fussy cutting and tucking those pieces in. And now I'm taking another piece of paper from the collection and using the summertime word. The first time I cut it, I hated how I cut it. It did not look nice, but lucky for me, there was another strip with summertime, so I was able to use another piece, so it worked out fine. That's always nice when you have extra pieces in your stash. I'm using these Doodlebug Tiny Type, I think it's Tiny Type letter stickers, and I'm going to end up spelling out the title Summertime is Sprinkler Time. And I'm using these Amy Tangerine stickers, which I am so excited to use them. I've had that in my stash for forever, and this was the absolute perfect layout to use them on. They had the perfect color combination. So I'm just going to use my little T-square ruler so that it's straight, because I think my photo was just a little bit off kilter, so it was really throwing me off trying to put the title on. So now I'm just gluing all the little bits and pieces. Like I said, the Tiny Type or these Doodlebug stickers, it's going to say summertime is sprinkler time, so is in time is going to be in those little Doodlebug, and I'm just going to glue that little summertime strip down, and again add a little bit more liquid glue because it is going to be going on top of gesso. So that is the title. I really like how that turned out, and like I said, the Amy Tangerine stickers were perfect for this. And so I'm going to ruffle up the edges of this picture here in a minute. There you go. Just to give it a little bit more of a distressed, weathered look. I didn't like how it was a little bit too clean still. So I'm just going to be folding and bending and trying to rip and tear just a little bit of the edge. Nothing too crazy, but just to give it a little bit extra texture. And here's where I found that the photo was just a little bit crooked, and so I'm going to rip it all up and glue it back down so it's a little bit straighter, and I was a little bit happier with that. Now I'm going to go through and add a bit of washi. I never used this enough, so I wanted to pull some out because I had a washi that would work perfect with this background. So I'm just going to tuck it in a few places here and there, just adding again some extra layering and detail to the cluster. So I'll play with that for a couple minutes before I get it to be how I want it. And I'm going to add a little bit more on the bottom left-hand side. And I do like how this turns out. It's just a little extra something. You can't see it a whole lot, but it's just enough. So I'll tuck some there as well. And yeah, I like how that looks. So you'll be able to see that better in the close-up shots. Now I think I'm going to take some sequins. Those are some sequins from the Planner Society, and I'm just going to sprinkle them around the page. I'm going to end up using the pink ones and the darker kind of red colored ones. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them around where I feel that they're going to look the best. I'm just using my tweezers because I don't know about you, but anytime I ever use sequins, the static, it sticks to my fingers and it drives me bonkers. I don't know if you guys have the same problem when you use sequins and it's sticking to you, but it just drives me crazy when it sticks to me and you can't get it off. So I tend to use my tweezers a lot when I'm using sequins, and it seems to help a lot. I don't know if my house is just uber dry or what, or my hands are always dry, but they just really stick to me. So now I'm just going to go through here and glue them on, but I'm not going to make you watch all of this, I don't believe. I think I'm going to fast forward, and I'm using that little pickup tool. That works perfectly when you're doing sequins. So if you're ever wanting to use a tool, I would suggest buying this. I got this one with, I think, my silhouette when I ordered it. Oh, I guess I'm going to show you all of my sticking down. It was quick, so that wasn't too painful. So that is all the sequins glued down, and then that's pretty much all the layout. I think I'm going to add the date and some journaling, and then that's pretty much it. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Please leave a comment below if you had any questions or if you just want to chit chat. If you like the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Talk to you guys real soon. Close-ups are coming up here in just a minute. Bye!